In the 21st century, logic is collapsing. A $13 billion aircraft carrier, the pinnacle of power, now sits vulnerable and alone in the vast, cold ocean. This massive investment represents more than just steel. It is the ultimate trap of concentration, where all value is anchored to a single incredibly expensive point. Now look at the alternative. A crude drone built from everyday civilian parts, costing only $50,000, the price of a common family SUV on the street. This is a saturation attack. When hundreds of cheap targets swarm a single objective, the defender's sophisticated systems face a mathematical nightmare they cannot possibly win. The defensive systems fire frantically, but they are burning through millions of dollars in ammunition to stop drones that cost almost nothing to the enemy's side. This isn't just a military crisis, it is a painful lesson in resource efficiency. You are bleeding capital while the threat remains cheap, numerous, and relentless. In life, putting 100% of your resources into a single basket, skill, or income source makes you the most vulnerable player in the game. When you concentrate your value too much, the cost to protect that single point will eventually drain you dry, leaving you paralyzed by your own assets. We are entering an era where decentralized threats can topple centralized giants. To survive, we must rethink how we distribute our power and our risks. The US Navy is realizing that their symbol of global dominance has become a liability. The math of the 21st century is turning against the large. This is the paradox of survival. The bigger you are, the easier you are to bleed out. To win, we must embrace a different kind of warfare. Your greatest enemy isn't a competitor. It is grade 1 mathematics. Specifically, the math of attrition, where your expenses grow faster than your results can. A modern destroyer costs $2 billion but only carries 96 missiles. If 500 cheap threats arrive, the math dictates your bankruptcy and total defeat. Many businesses fail not because they lack talent, but because their fixed costs are too high. They are too heavy to move when the market shifts suddenly. To win in an era of volatility, you don't need a more expensive machine. You need a structure that is cheaper, more distributed, and capable of self-operation. Decentralization is the only shield against saturation. When your value is spread across a network, no single strike can ever take you out of the game. Time is the ultimate currency of attrition. If your system requires constant, expensive maintenance just to exist, you have already lost the battle against time. Look at your own life or business. Are you maintaining a legacy system that costs more than it earns? Are you a victim of your own size? Quality cannot always overcome quantity. When the world can produce a million good enough solutions, your one perfect solution becomes a target for exhaustion. The shift is happening now. We are moving from the age of the super platform to the age of the massive network. Quantity is becoming a quality. Imagine a force that has no heart to pierce, no brain to crush. It is everywhere and nowhere at once. This is the new reality. In your career, are you building a bridge that one storm can break, or are you creating many paths that lead to the same successful destination? The goal isn't to be the strongest, it is to be the most efficient. Efficiency creates the margin for error that allows for long-term survival and growth. A single point of failure is a death sentence in the modern economy. We must learn to break our chains and become a resilient, adaptive web. Flexibility is the new gold. By reducing fixed costs and embracing modularity, you can survive shocks that would shatter any rigid traditional organization today. But how do we transform? How do we take the heavyweight of the past and turn it into the light, fast weapon of the future? Instead of spending billions on new ships, engineers look toward the graveyard. In Bremerton, the steel ghosts of the past are waiting for a new purpose. The most expensive part of a submarine is the pressure hull. It is already built, tested, and sitting there for free in these decommissioned vessels. By removing the human element, you eliminate 70% of the complexity. No air, no food, no safety systems, just pure functional utility left behind. This is the Ghost Fleet project. Is the pinnacle of value repurposing, turning what was once considered scrap metal into a cutting-edge strategic asset. Ask yourself, what sunk assets are you ignoring? What old knowledge, relationships, or tools are sitting in your mental warehouse, waiting to be reused? The hull is just a container. By changing the contents, you change the entire identity of the machine from a manned hunter to a robotic arsenal. Scale is achieved not by building from scratch, but by adapting what exists. This saves years of construction time and billions in development costs. When you strip away the human overhead of an old system, you reveal its raw potential. The cost-to-value ratio suddenly flips in your favor. Strategic growth often requires aggressive pruning. You must be willing to let go of the parts that no longer serve the modern mission. These repurposed ghosts are harder to detect than new ships. They are quiet, simple, and expendable, making them the ultimate tools for modern attrition. Don't let the old label blind you to the useful. Innovation is often just the creative recycling of yesterday's most expensive failures into today's wins. Are you willing to shed your old identity to become more effective? The steel doesn't care about its name, it only cares about its function. Intelligence is the catalyst. When you add modern software to legacy hardware, you create a hybrid that is both robust and incredibly smart. The ocean doesn't know these ships were once destined for the scrap heap. It only knows they are now the most dangerous things in the water. This is the rebirth from the steel graveyard. But their true power lies not in their hulls, but in how they are used together. A ghost magazine is a silent sentinel. It lies perfectly still on the seafloor, emitting no heat, no noise, and no radio signals to the surface. It is a dormant asset, waiting for a single encrypted command from thousands of miles away to wake up and fulfill its lethal purpose. When activated, it becomes a localized eruption of power. It provides a massive volume of fire without risking a single human life in the process. This is the lesson of invisible power. The strongest people in the modern world aren't the loudest. They are those who accumulate energy in silence. By decentralizing your ammunition, your skills, and your assets, you become impossible to target. You are everywhere, yet you are nowhere to be found. In an age of total surveillance, invisibility is the ultimate advantage. If they cannot see you, they cannot calculate the cost of fighting you. Build your own ghost magazines. Create systems in your life that work in the background, requiring no daily effort but ready to deliver results instantly. The power of the ghost fleet is its connectivity. It is not a lone wolf. It is a vital part of a larger thinking machine. The enemy stares at an empty ocean, yet they are surrounded. This is the psychological victory of a distributed, autonomous, and silent force. Success is like an iceberg. What people see on the surface should only be a fraction of the power you have built beneath the water. A ghost magazine is the ultimate passive asset. It costs nothing to maintain while dormant, but its value is infinite at the moment of need. In your career, don't just work, build systems. Let your work operate as a hidden arsenal that can explode into effectiveness when the timing is perfect. Automation is the engine of the ghost fleet. It removes the friction of human hesitation and the massive cost of human-sustaining systems. Be like the ghost magazine, silent, deep, and deeply connected. When you finally act, the world will wonder where all that power came from. This is the definition of modern strength. It is not about the size of the ship, but the reach and resilience of the network. The math has finally flipped. The cost of protecting a missile has dropped from $150 million to just $5 million. This is victory. Instead of one big target, the enemy now faces 1,000 small ones. They must spend millions to hunt down a target that costs almost nothing. By fragmenting the risk, you multiply the efficiency. This is how you win a war of attrition before the first shot is even fired. Strategic success is about the ratio of value created to the risk taken. The Ghost Fleet offers the highest return on investment in naval history. Don't build a flashy exterior that leaves you hollow inside. Build an intelligent system where risk is small and efficiency is high. In business, high-volume, low-cost units often beat low-volume, high-cost ones. The market, like the ocean, favors those who can afford to lose. When your assets are expendable, your strategy becomes fearless. You can take risks that your competitors, burdened by high costs, would never dare to. The direction is clear. Move away from concentration and toward distribution. The winners of tomorrow are optimizing for the math of survival today. Look at your own financial fleet. Is it one giant carrier, or is it a resilient network of ghost magazines working for you 24/7? The oak tree breaks because it is rigid and singular. The grass survives because it is flexible and numerous. Be the grass, not the oak. The key to the future is not more resources, but better resource logic. It is about how you deploy what you already have in smarter ways. The Ghost Fleet is not just a military project. It is a philosophy of lean, effective, and invisible power that can be applied everywhere. Train your eyes to see the hidden value in the discarded. Train your mind to calculate the true cost of concentration. We are bridging the gap between the heavy past and the light future. The transition is difficult, but the rewards are absolute. When the ocean goes silent, it is not the peace of emptiness. It is the silence of a system optimized to its very core. The Ghost Fleet is the answer to resource stagnation. It shows that the solution is not to do more of the same, but to change the rules. Will you continue to be a vulnerable carrier, or are you ready to become a ghost? The choice to restructure your life starts now. Thank you for exploring the strategic depths with Navy Decoded. Your future depends on how you choose to play the math of survival. Share your thoughts on this strategic shift in the comments below. Let us build a more resilient and efficient world.